This story is about a corporate executive. There was a corporate executive, and like always, as it happens with corporate executives, at one stage he needed to go to the doctor. The numbers, he was chasing numbers in the organization, but numbers were chasing him. Numbers as in, 140 by 90, maybe higher than that, maybe 135, 236. You know what I'm talking about. HDL versus LDL. LDL always scoring over HDL. So cholesterol, blood pressure, sugar, the weighing scale was groaning under the weight. All kinds of issues were happening, and he thought, now I need to go to my doctor. Fortunately for him, the doctor happened to be a friend. Doctors should be friends. Better, friends should be doctors. Otherwise, you could get into trouble. You can probably hear about illnesses you never dreamt about. Doctor told him, "Kuch nahi hai yaar, you are like every other corporate. You have picked up all those illnesses that corporates pick up. You have a sugar problem, you have a blood pressure problem, your cholesterol is not in safe territory, and you have picked up a lot of bad habits on the way. So don't worry, we can solve this." He said, "How?" He said, "Kuch nahi, 10 दिन की छुट्टी लेनी पड़ेगी तुझे." He said, "My company will close down." The doctor said, "That's what every corporate thinks. You take a day off and see what happens." And then the doctor said, "I know a guy called Achal Rangaswamy. Every time he takes a day off, the sales in that organization would be better." And the guys used to say, "Sir, chutti pe kab ja rahe ho?" And actually, this guy Rangaswamy is very fond of films. But he can't call up the office and say, "I want to take my wife out for a movie." So he'll probably call up and say, "Aaj tabiyat theek nahi, aaj main nahi aa raha hu." And his men saw through it, and this is what the doctor was telling the corporate. So anyway, he says, "Nothing, just take 10 days off. If you can't take 10 days off, take 7 days off. And I'll send you to a place. And it's not Bali, it's not Phuket, it's not Macau, it's not Maldives. फालतू में लोग पैसा दे के वहाँ तक जाते हैं और दिन भर फेसबुक पे लगे रहते हैं कि मैं हॉलिडे कर रहा हूँ." And that's how they stress themselves, into that. And on the way back, they feel miserable that they didn't enjoy their holiday because their thumbs are aching. You know why their thumbs are aching. This is what the doctor was saying. I'm not saying this. Yeah. And you will enjoy it, but only two things. Your mobile network won't work there, and you can't use your laptop. This guy, hit his head and said, "So मैं करूँगा क्या?" He said, "It's a wonderful place. I don't want to tell you about it. Go and see for yourself." So this man went, and he had this big worry in his mind that there are going to be problems at work. But the moment he landed up at this place, this resort, he fell in love with it. There was a beautiful lake, nice, clean water. There was a boat which was absolutely new, freshly painted. There was a rifle, well oiled. He just tried it once or twice, it worked very well. There were a lot of birds in and around the lake which he could shoot. And there was this Labrador retriever dog who was in excellent healthy condition. A Labrador retriever's job is, once you shoot the bird and it falls in the water, you swim into the water, get the bird without harming it, and bring it back so that the bird can be cooked. And there was an old man who was running this particular resort. It was a small little cottage, not very stylish, but good enough for a nice holiday. So our friend checked in. On the first day he lazed around. On the second day he started paddling the boat. On the second day evening he shot a couple of birds, and he noticed that the dog would quickly swim into the water, fetch the bird, and bring it back without harming the bird. And the old man would cook the bird for this corporate executive. Life was wonderful. Days 3, 4, 5, 6 went on like a dream, and this man could feel that even without going to the doctor, his figures were improving, or rather dropping in most cases, except the HDL, which was probably becoming better. But then on the 7th day it was time to leave. And as it happens with most people on holidays, you feel as if time has just flown and you had no control over it, and it's already time to go back. So he decided that he must pay a compliment to the old man. He went up to him and said, "You really looked after me. I've eaten a lot, but I'm feeling lighter. You cooked the birds and you cooked food for me very nicely. The boat was excellent. The rifle was damn good. The birds were there. The water was clean. I had great fun. But believe me, the hero was this fellow, this dog. You've really, got a wonderful guy to make anybody's holiday a dream. I think you should look after him. By the way, what do you call him? The old man said, well, I didn't know what to call him, but then since he has to follow the birds and he has to go into the water and get the birds, I called him Follower. So his name is Follower. And he follows. He follows instructions, he follows the birds, and he follows them back. He follows you and gives me the bird, and I cook the bird. I call him Follower. This man patted the dog and said, I think he deserves something better. You must look after him, feed him well, pamper him. He is the hero here. He is the guy who's making your resort work. Give him a good name. Pep him up. He patted the dog and then he went out. He went out to the resort and got back to his usual grind. 3, 4, 5 years, again back into the grind, again the numbers chasing him, he chasing the numbers, targets, figures, all kinds of issues bothering him. This time he didn't need to go to the doctor because he knew where he wanted to go. He was quite clear. So he went to this resort, checked in there, and this time he saw to his amazement that the place was in a mess, a big mess. The water was dirty, there were hardly any birds. The boat was leaking. The rifle had gone rusty. And the hut, the little cottage, was in a mess. The old man was wearing tattered and torn clothes, unshaven. It didn't look like a man who would receive somebody who's come on a holiday. This man asked him, what happened? It's just 4 or 5 years. What happened? The old man said, well, you had a wonderful holiday and so did a lot of other people because you recommended this place to lots of your friends. Many of them came. I guess you've been away for 4 or 5 years, but a lot of your friends, your colleagues, subordinates, many of them came here. And they all did the same thing. They had a wonderful holiday. They enjoyed themselves. And while going, they patted this fellow and told me, you must do something for him. You must pep him up. You must make him feel good. And so that's exactly what I did. I just changed his name from Follower to Leader. And here he is, sitting on his fat ass, barking at everybody and doing nothing else.